I want to thank To The Tune for bringing this to my attention, this new 2016 Hennessy commercial, which has absolutely nothing to do with the product itself. All about mockery and programming at the same time. Like I stated before, I believe they're going to reveal the flat earth with the firmament in time. Taking a look at this scene here towards the end of the commercial where they break through the firmament. You see the waters above as stated in the Bible, like I stated many times. I'll play these previous clips, including The Simpsons, where Homer hits a home run and he breaks through the firmament. There you go right there. Play a little bit in advance. The water coming down. I'll also play other videos as well. People ask me, why do I play previous videos? Understand, a lot of my subscribers have seen these videos. I get a lot of new viewers. And if I just play simply this Hennessy commercial, they're not going to grasp the entire concept. And that's why I do that. So for my subs, if you see my previous videos, of course, there's no need to watch beyond the Hennessy commercial. For the new viewers, I really advise to watch this video in its entirety. With those that control Hollywood showing us the truth in these cartoons. This is how they do it. They love to put the truth in what seems to be ridiculous, such as cartoons, Illuminati card games, movies, commercials. This is how they do it. They love to mock us with truth with these ridiculous cartoons in this case. Take a watch.
Steroid Santa Claus kicks and deals. It's a long fly ball going back, and the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium.
Now do you understand how this matches up with the Bible verse in Genesis? The waters above. You people understand and get it, what's taking place here. This is biblical, and this is meant as mockery. When people watch this, they have no understanding what this is all about. Now with the supposed live feed from the ISS, you get this bogus CGI satellite here. Where are all the rest of the satellites? Where are they? How can people see through this deception? You believe this is real? You gotta be kidding me. Again, complete mockery on the masses that take lies as truth and truth as lies. First off, I want to thank Marissa for bringing this to my attention. It's a very short clip from Bruce Willis when he was on David Letterman's show. At the very end, they show him breaking a pane of glass. Just take a listen to what he says here. He said he broke the dome. Does this look like a dome to you? It's just a pane of glass. Of course, they cannot simulate breaking the dome above because the glass will come raining down on him. So, This is how they do it. These Masons in their mockery, which they love to do. Just like the saying, breaking the glass ceiling, as you see here. Now, more Freemasonry when it comes to movies hidden in plain sight. As I stated so many times, Freemasonry is nothing more than Satanism in disguise. Take a look at this scene from Pulp Fiction with Bruce Willis in the pawn shop looking for a weapon. And there you go. It's all bloodied up. He's looking at a samurai sword. Right next to him, right above him, is this little race car with the number 33. And of course, a reference to the highest degree in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, 33. Now take a look at this other movie he was in back in the 90s called The Fifth Element. And what do you see? The Maltese cross? And he's wearing an orange shirt. And orange, of course, is 33 in numerology. Just taking a look at all the symbolisms when it comes to these celebrities. Taking a look here at Katy Perry and understand what's taking place. You see here with the cube on top of her head. Okay, you see her with the astronaut. And you see her with the broken glass dress. This is all a reference to heaven in breaking the dome. It states in Revelation how basically the heaven is a cube. The city was laid out like a square as long as it was wide. And that's why you see her in these concepts that they devise for these celebrities. They don't just pull them out of thin air. There's always a backstory. Again, this is heaven, which is a cube, and the broken glass, which is all symbolizes basically an astronaut breaking through the glass, getting to heaven, which is supposed space. Always, again, hidden meanings that people that don't understand the occult will never get it. Again, they just think this is all random and just thrown together when it's not.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! I carry a madness everywhere I go. Over the border and back to the snow.
And talking about mockery, just take a look at this company, Orion Telescope Center, located in Cupertino, California. Take a look at their company logo, and what do you see? Basically, the dome with the flat earth. These people know the earth is flat. They are just profiting. Those gullible people that just believe all the lies of science. When the foundation is a lie, everything else after is a lie as well. Here's a closer look at the storefront. Right in front of your face. And here's the dome above the flat earth. What a complete joke. You see the URL, telescope.com, 40 years in business. And again, take a look at the flat earth model next to Orion, the company name. Again, all mockery in front of every single one of these telescopes. Let's take a look at space.com. And they ask the question, why do planets look like stars in the night sky? Here you see supposedly Jupiter and Venus and the moon. It states here, the planets are much closer inside our solar system. Although the planets are much smaller than the stars, planets appear to be the same size as the stars because they are so close to us. Planets don't produce their own light. They reflect the light of the sun in the same way that moon reflects sunlight. This is completely false, and I'll explain that. Now let's take a look at this image of the night sky with Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter. Like science states, they supposedly shine because of sunlight off these planets. Now let's take a closer look here at Saturn and Venus. Even a little bit more of a close-up. Now supposedly these are planets shining because of the reflection of the sun. Okay, now let's take a look at this image. You see more stars? And again, all the other supposed planets, they all shine like stars because that's all they are. Now, supposedly Saturn, through a telescope, you don't see it shining. You don't see any stars in the back. More of the same. Now let's look at this. This is one channel showing Saturn through a C11 telescope. Of course, C11 is 311 for 33. Now let's take a look at this channel, different channel, and you get a different color Saturn. And it's not shining like you've seen in these images here. And why is that? And again, where are the stars in the background? Completely demonstrates how these pre-programmed digital telescopes are being utilized. It reminds me of fisheye lens cameras that give false perspective. And this is how they do it. This is why these were manufactured. So in high distances, people get the illusion that we live in the bulb. And just take a look at this supposed image of Lake Tahoe from space. Give me a break. How small is the Earth if Lake Tahoe is this big? That's what I'm talking about as far as deception when it comes to telescopes, to fisheye lens cameras. They are created to give a false perspective, to create a false reality. And this is what it's all about. I'm going to play my previous video. Before I do, I want to mention one thing as I stated before. Teachers from elementary school, high school, college, university, they've never seen the ball Earth from space. They're just teaching what they're told to teach. They cannot deviate. If they deviate and not teach what the textbooks state, they are out of a job. And this is how the whole system works. The entire system of deception. Before looking at the footage on top of the World Trade Center tower, I want to go over what science says is the supposed curvature of the Earth, with the Earth's circumference supposedly being 25,000 miles around. And that leads you to this chart with the first mile. Within the first mile, there's supposedly 8 inches of curvature. Then it goes by square, with the second mile being 32 inches, and so forth, with 72 in the third. And basically, over each mile, the curvature gets very dramatic very fast. Within 10 miles, that's 800 inches, which calculates to be a little bit over 66 feet. And at 60 miles, that brings you to 2,400 feet. And that's over a quarter mile of curvature. Now let's take a look at the footage. Now with this footage from New York, with the World Trade Center tower, they show engineers working on the spire. Now let's take a look at the footage. And you can clearly see how there's no curvature to the Earth. Right there. This point, all the way across, is a straight line. Again, going back to that chart, there should be a dramatic curve to the Earth. And sometimes we watch videos, not sometimes, a lot of times, and you'll see curvature. But those are with fish eye lens cameras. And that's how you get it. I'm going to show a little bit of that towards the end of this video. You can see where they use standard cameras and the fish eye lens, which distorts the perspective and makes people believe, to go along with what science says, that we lived on a spinning ball floating in space. Again, when they do these documentaries, unknowingly they're exposing themselves in other ways that are paying attention to detail. A little bit more look here. Again, right there. Perfectly flat. See these buildings? I'm going to show it a little bit using when they use a GoPro camera with the fish eye lens. And you're going to see a distortion. All these buildings pointing straight up like they should. It's all going to make sense in a little bit. Now taking a look at this footage with the engineer using a completely different camera, this one a fisheye lens camera, and you can see a dramatic curve to the Earth. Not the same camera as used earlier. You see that distortion? You see that drastic curve to the Earth? These buildings leaning to one side? It's all distorted because of the lens of the camera, giving the false perspective. Now with this footage, you're going to completely see how the fisheye lens camera completely distorts the horizon to make it look like it's a ball. There you go. Going from flat to curved. And this is the entire purpose behind these fisheye lens cameras. For the simple fact they need to cover themselves for situations like this. Completely curved. Buildings curved. Everything's curved. Complete distortion. Now take a look at this footage from on top of the South Tower a year before the towers came down. It's a nice pan from on top of the tower showing how the horizon is completely flat. Clear as day. Flat Earth. How people can't see this is beyond me. I want to jump in right here about telescopes. Very important point I want to make. There's a difference between analog telescopes and digital. There's information put in those digital telescopes so you see what they want you to see. Everything is within the firmament. People say, "Oh, I seen a planet through my telescope." What you're seeing is pre-programmed where you're to position that point to see what they're going to show you what you want. They want you to see. Look through an analog telescope. You're not going to see what it's going to be a blur. You just light the sky. Listen, what is Jupiter? What is Saturn? These are supposedly gas planets. They're not even physical. They even admit that they're not physical. There's no surface. It doesn't matter. They're just lights in the sky. Period.
Yeah, good point. Good point bringing up telescopes.
This is what I'm talking about. Pre-programmed into these digital telescopes. That's what you're seeing. And it looks fake because it is fake. Just a digital image. Especially right here. Just take a look. What is that garbage? People believe this is real. But interesting enough, take a look at the comments. Found this pretty interesting. This person, Jason Humphrey, says here, "I can't even think of words that describe how amazing this is. To see it like that almost makes it seem fake. Brilliant." Fake, yeah. This person here, the channel owner, says, "Saturn is beautiful and it looks indeed fake." Yeah, that's fake, alright. And right here, this person throws in as well. Neil deGrasse Tyson said he couldn't believe how fake it looks with your own eyes, but how it looks real because it's right there in front of you.
I don't know anybody, no matter how many pictures of Saturn they've seen, who, upon looking through a telescope with their own eyes at Saturn in space, doesn't have their jaw drop open.
People don't understand. All they've been fed is fake their entire lives. And when all you've been fed is fake, you're not going to have good discernment between fake and real because you don't know what real is. So all we get is fake. Even the ball Earth we supposedly live on. Just taking a look at this image here from NASA's official website with Robert Simon. This is the man responsible for the supposed blue marble that we live on. Read the article. He states he basically creates this image of the blue marble through data received through satellites. As I mentioned before, satellites do not exist. There are no satellites in space. And if they were, how far away are they to capture this image of Earth? Give me a break. How people can't see what's taking place with all the trillions of dollars spent on NASA over the years. And they give us a composite of the planet we supposedly live on. and the masses just lap it up. As I stated many times, all the teachers throughout elementary school, middle school, high school, college, university, they never seen the ball Earth from space. They're just taking NASA's word for it. And this is what happens when people assume. They trust their government, they trust their government agency and NASA, and even when things like this don't add up, they'll find a way to rationalize it. No one likes to be told they've been lied to their entire lives. It's sad. We live in such a dumbed-down society.
Space, the final frontier.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
Fascinating, fascinating, fascinating.
Astronauts to the moon.
The Force can have a strong influence on the weak-minded.
Here.
Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning, and it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere, it's oblate, and officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good way. It's like pear-shaped.
How do you like it? They tell you all the time what to do, what to think, what to feel. Do you want to be like a sheep? Like all those other people, man? Do you understand? That piece of shit up there, I never like him. I never trusted him. This is paradise, I'm telling you.
And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so.
I'm asked daily, why does it matter if we live on a flat earth or a spinning ball? Now understand, a flat earth with a dome, a firmament, is biblical. I try to explain this even to Christians that go to church and don't understand what's taking place with the deception. When the Bible states that Satan has deceived the world, they do not grasp it. They don't think it's literal. It's very literal. Take a look here at the very beginning of the Bible, Genesis, where it states there is a firmament above us. It talks about in Job how it's a molten looking glass. Also in Psalms, how it states, he set the earth on its foundations so that it should never be moved. So science says we're moving, we're spinning at 1,100 miles at the equator, and the Bible states the exact opposite. So again, understand the whole deception behind the so-called ball earth. All about pushing evolution, the Big Bang, other world, other planets, supposed planets when none exist, and other alien life forms. And that's what it's all about. I'm just taking a look at all these images and just take a look at how they're all inconsistent. Take a look at 2012 and the size of the United States compared to 2002, 2007, 1997. These don't add up. This is just a form of mockery. These are all composites, and NASA does not deny that. These are not actual images. So understand, again, it's all about pushing evolution, other worlds, alien life forms, when they do not exist. We live on a flat, immovable earth with a firmament or a dome above us. This is 100% biblical, and if your churches don't tell you, they are knowingly or unknowingly deceiving you, like it states in the Bible, deceiving and being deceived.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, Let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that that was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens, in the firmament of the heavens. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day. Fear before him all the earth. The world also shall be stable, that it be not moved. The Lord reigneth, he is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength, wherewith he hath girded himself. The world also is established, that it cannot be moved. Say among the heathen that the Lord reigneth. The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. He shall judge the people righteously. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven.
This is a group of social criminals. These people in the space program. Nassholes, I call them.
Space, the final frontier.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
Fascinating, fascinating, fascinating.
Astronauts to the moon.
The Force can have a strong influence on the weak-minded.
Conspiracy theorists. They've been crazy, but now they're right.